I believe, or what I've seen is, meditation is having an access to a best friend. And that best friend is my own self. Human beings are the only people who have such fantastic best friend, this soul inside them, this inner strength and power, and having no access to that. Meditation is the pathway to that storehouse of wealth. And I want people to have access to their own inner bank account.
Hey everyone, it's Tamara Thompson with Broadcast Your Authority, and I'm super grateful for our panelists of co-hosts. Thanks for joining me today, you guys.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Good to have you. We are twinsies on
I noticed.
And I'm super grateful for our next guest that traveled in, Ishan Shivanand, and he has an incredible book, and he's going to talk to us today about meditation for high performers, how to prevent burnout and thrive at the workplace as well. But we're super grateful to have you here today. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming in. So, can you share? Well, Danielle, you were just talking about this off camera, but I think Danielle should jump in and talk about the line of him.
Yeah, I was reading your bio, and you're the 22nd generation of people like in the monastery.
The lineage.
The lineage.
So, the legend is that life was complicated, and humanity was confused with being human. It's a complex process. We are born naked, confused, and crying in a place which we don't understand. Just like Vegas.
Yes. You're like, it's the first time here.
Yeah,
you remember.
We wake up every day hungover, trying to understand where we are.
Some people are naked.
And what we have to do.
Yes.
So there's no pathway, there's no structure, there's no protocol to being human. So the legend is in my monastery that the highest consciousness became the first teacher. And then when you're a teacher, nobody wants to learn anything. It's like I was sitting with a guy from YouTube, and he was sad that on YouTube we have a library of all the knowledge that human beings can do and create, yet the most viewed videos are of cats. So,
Yes.
the Supreme Consciousness became the first teacher and the first student. So then, from there, the lineage started. And the first student not just learned from the teacher, he taught how to be a student, the art of learning, the art of practicing. And since then, my monastery wanted to preserve that way and teach this knowledge that they believe has come from the immortal being. So I have been honored to continue the current work that is ancient in nature.
That's got to feel like incredible, though, in some ways. Like you're passed down this lineage, and you went through this. Did you always feel like it was purposeful going through leading this life?
It feels amazing now when I'm in the world. Because when I was there, I was so happy. It's like right now we are sitting. So the hotel I'm staying in is not that nice. And then I come to Win, it's so fancy. The carpets are not moldy. The iron is not rusty. The people are not drunky and yelly. So it's sophistication. It's a different world. Each resort is its own world. So when I was in that monastery, that's a separate world. We are eating organic, all happy with each other, all smiling under the blue sky in a state of enlightenment. And then I come out into the world, and the world is...
It's crazy.
Chaos.
Chaos. Chaos. Yeah.
So now I feel much more of a purpose, and I feel that there is so much that even my people have to learn and understand, and there is a responsibility that we have to the world to help them get that peace, which I believe is everybody's right, if they are human, a right to peace and happiness. So I'm trying to help people reach that state through what I know.
I love that. I think a lot of people step into this world and chaos, busyness. They don't really think like to take time for themselves or things like meditation. I know that when I grew up, I wasn't encouraged or shared knowledge of what meditation even was, right? And so now that I know full on what meditation does and how it helps, like being able to meditate daily is one of the things that now I practice. And I think it's one of the things that a lot of people need to step into as well. So when you wrote your book, as well, what are some of the things that are shared within the knowledge of that book on meditation?
First thing, madam, why meditation?
That is the first
You know, when
question.
I go to eat burger, they say, eat for happiness. You will die, but happy.
Die happy. Yes.
So what is the purpose? Why
The
meditation?
purpose of meditation,
Mhm.
yes.
I believe, or what I've seen is, meditation is having an access to a best friend.
Okay.
Imagine a best friend that's always there for you, a best friend that has the power to say the right things, a best friend that helps you get up, a best friend that will never make you feel lonely, always give you courage, always be your wingman, always have your back. And that best friend is my own self.
Mm.
People who do not meditate have no access to themselves. That's why they are dependent. They're dependent on phones, they're dependent on some substances. I worked in addiction. I'm a mental health researcher. I'm seeing so much of non-substance abuse. Best friend is social media. Best friend is having something in the ear. We are cut off from everything and we are trying to just barely survive without having any support. Meditation is allowing yourself the access that nature has given to you. When we look at a bird who can't fly, we feel sad. When we look at a bunny, that's not cute. When we look at a tiger without claws, that is a disgrace. Unnatural. Human beings are the only people who have such fantastic best friend, this soul inside them, this inner strength and power, and having no access to that. Meditation is the pathway to that storehouse of wealth. And I want people to have access to their own inner bank account. And that's what I talk about in my book. When I wrote that book, the whole purpose was I came to the United States in 2019 as a mental health researcher. And December is when I landed. And nobody was that much interested in mental health. And then suddenly COVID happened. And then everybody's interested in their mental health. So the research blew up. And when we were doing that research, it was studying your mental health and then implementing yoga-based modalities. So yoga, meditation, integrative healthcare. And generally in America, people have this concept of yoga. It's not yoga, it's American yoga. It's like the nice stretchy pant, expensive yoga, in which you have to be like a pretzel and then you do yoga. But when I'm teaching yoga, I'm talking about the unchanged yoga that is yoga. So we were teaching and there was not a lot of physical movement involved. It was more meditative in nature. And the people that were part of that study, when the results came in, it just blew all the researchers away. We had researchers from University of Cincinnati, Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic, and we saw that anxiety reduced 75%, insomnia, one of the biggest precursors to so many mental health disorders, and physiological disorders reduced 85%, depression more than 70%, etc. So all my colleagues in healthcare, they wanted to know, number one, how come the yoga that I'm teaching is so different? Number two, who am I? And where did I get access to all these traits? And number three, how is it that we have done so many previous researches and never got this result? And that too in a COVID setting where the baseline itself is so horrible. So I would tell them the story that I come from a monastery. I've been trained by monks. And each time they were like, wow, you should write a book. And then I did. And I'm so thankful because it became bestseller. And then in that book, when I was writing, it was just about where all these things come from. But then I thought, this will be such a tease that a person will read and then they'll be interested in these modalities, and then where do they find them? So then in this book, I made it a point that each chapter ends with the practice itself. The practice that I used in research, the practice that I want to bring to the world, the art of meditation that was taught to me, that comes from the Supreme Consciousness itself. And when a person will read the book, progressively, they will be able to learn these things that a monk in the Himalaya is practicing, and probably be able to integrate it with their lives. So that was the objective, and that's how I'm trying to help heal.
When we spoke about yoga, the yoga means union, and we forget that this exists. We go, let's do sports, let's call it yoga, but that's how it is now. But it's based on ancient practice, but we lost this. So many things that we've lost anyway. So
If we
Very
had no
interesting.
mics, I would come and hug you right now because you are one of the few people who know the meaning of the word. Yoga means union,
yeah,
and that union is with that inner self, that higher self. What has happened over time is that people have forgot this, and they are looking it as a physical exercise. And I remember I was talking to this great yoga teacher. He had worked in America for a long time, and he said, when I was teaching yoga, I was aiming for the head because of the consciousness, but I missed and I landed on the gluteus maximus. And he says now people are just wanting to do yoga so that this is tight, that is big, that is thin, rather than opening their consciousness. And that is going to happen if I'm not looking at the core of the practice. And the core of the practice is finding yourself, being in union with that energy. Then it is just a physical exercise. It's like breathing. Pranayam. When I breathe, meditate, consciousness rises up. But that does not mean if a dog does, he will become a sage. But it would look cool though. An enlightened dog. I will buy that.
I would too.
I would watch the movie.
Second book.
Yeah, I was thinking of like the sequel, part 2. Yeah, no, I love that.
For somebody that has little to no experience in meditation, how do you get them into a zone of like what mindset do you need to be in to go into tapping into your higher self or to yourself more? Like what does that, how do you guide them to do that?
First of all, it's a fallacy that I have not meditated. Everyone meditates. Few days ago, I am walking and I go into the elevator looking very pretty, and I meet an old acquaintance who says, "Oh, you've gained weight." For next 3 days, I meditated on her comment.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That why she said this.
Yeah.
The scale is lying. I look fine. So we meditate. Somebody make a comment. We meditate on that. Somebody does something wrong. We meditate upon that. And you know the one thing we meditate upon the most? Would have, could have, should have. If I could redo my life, how will it be? And we are doing all the aspects of yogic meditation. When we are going on that Alice in Wonderland journey, we are visualizing, we are unconsciously doing the breath work, we are cutting ourselves from the present reality and going into a made up reality. We are forcing this false truth and narrative on our head and then suffering that anxiety, because anxiety is not threat perception. Anxiety is most of the time creation. For example, if I look at a cockroach is not a threat. Cockroach don't have stinger. Cockroach don't have teeth. Cockroach is nothing. I could sit on the cockroach and he become taco. But a person who has phobia of cockroach will yell and his soul will leave the body. He is creating it in his head. So everybody meditate.
Good point.
They just don't know the correct projection, the flow of meditation. And that's why people who are more stressed, just little bit alignment to them, little bit course correction, they become best meditator.
Mm.
People who have more anxiety become the best meditators. So this is a fallacy that somebody says, oh, I don't meditate. No, you do. You just don't know that you are the Hussein Bolt of meditation in anxiety.
Mm.
So we will just bring that alchemical change where the same you can use to create positivity, joy, abundance, and bliss. And people are capable. You know why I know this? Because since I came out of the monastery, in the monastery, people used to think you have to be special, then only you have access to such planes. That is wrong. Since I've come out, doctors, lawyers, teachers, army veterans, police, firefighters, mothers, children, all have accessed that plane through these meditative modalities. Everybody can do this. I know it. Yes.
That's beautiful.
I'm wondering, is there an ideal age for people to start meditating? And have you seen that in play?
Yes, ma'am. So I just started this exercise. It's called the School of Immortals, where parents who are interested, we try to work on their children. So when it comes to research, it's very difficult to do mental health work with kids who are under a certain age. So I just thought, rather than doing research, we will give access to these modalities and let the parents at their own pace work on their kids. And I found out that when a kid has the ability to sit, generally 2 to 3 years age, and in a certain way meditation is taught, the kid responds beautifully. Because again, when we are thinking meditation, we have that Hollywood meditation where you are closing your eyes and like that pot over there.
Right.
You are a pot, not moving, not doing anything. But meditation is so many things. It's central nervous system, cardiovascular system, emotional expression. Stimulation of all these things can encompass into a form of dynamic meditation that slowly, if the parent is doing, then the kid, he doesn't know it's meditation. He thinks it's play.
Right.
Monkey do what monkey see. And slowly, that is teaching the child to have better control on his emotions, on his motor responses, on his breath, his limbic system, his autonomous nervous system. What started as play, then slowly we make it less and less dynamic. Then it's okay, now no more physical expression. Now just sit and do breath thing. Then by the time he's 5, we have been able to see a kid meditating like Hollywood, like a pot with full control on himself for up to 15 to 30 minutes. And I myself have a kid that's 9 and a daughter that's 5, and they both are well versed in all meditative states and they love to do it. So I think children at the youngest age, if we expose to them, it is very important. And coming back to the mental health aspects, a lot of the time when I'm working in addiction, then the problem is of dual diagnostic, underlying pre-existing mental health condition that has been undiagnosed. So when a child is thrown into the chaos of the world, he uses a substance as a form of self-medication. And then that progresses. And then the problem becomes that is the only time a child feels in control is when there is the substance. So if in the beginning only we can teach the child on how to calm the mind, on how to relax the mind, and there are these modalities also that they can use, then we can put into action this old adage that prevention is better than cure. But if we let the child be anxious first, depressed first, and then hopefully he figure out the way, it will be very difficult. But preventatively, if we can teach the child, it is much easy. The example I gave is learning to fly the plane when the plane crashing. And that is what I see in so much of America. We let ourselves become anxiety, depressed, mentally unhealthy, then we look for integrative solutions. Instead, it should be preventative in nature.
Mm.
Knowing that the world we live in, depression will come.
Mhm.
It's not a if,
Mhm.
but when. Because we will lose the people we love. This is going to happen. Things will change. Anxiety will come. Every day when I'm reading the newspaper, since I come to America, I read like this. We never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
No. Before coming to America, I was in Mauritius. It's the most happy country, simplest country in the world. Once a turtle came and it flipped backwards and somebody flipped him correctly, 6 days, that was the news. And coming to America, morning news is bam.
Mhm.
And evening news, we forget morning because bam, bam happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anxiety will come. So we must work on us today to learn these ways. Is an art, like martial arts. You learn self-defense. This is mental health art.
Mm.
You learn anxiety defense.
Mhm. I love that. I love that you're saying these emotions will happen. They're going to occur.
Mhm.
And so you're helping people to learn how to deal with them once they do happen.
Yes.
So that it doesn't like throw you off of your game or like put you in such a state where you feel helpless.
Yes, and especially with kids, the more prosperous a family is, they purposefully lie to their kid and make them in a bubble.
Mhm.
Even I lie to my kid. Santa Claus. Seriously, I shop, I buy, I wrap, I give, and this Santa take credit. Tooth fairy. I work, I earn, I put,
Yes.
and tooth fairy. And we are purposefully making a bubble. The more prosperous we are, the bigger the lies we tell our kids. And one day the bubble burst. The kid will realize my father was a liar and the world is a mean, dark place.
Mhm.
So we must start preparing our kid before for this anxiety and anger that is going to come. We can't put them in this nice bubble of love and happiness and peace because the world is not like that. The world is what the world is. And the more a child has the tools and means to deal with these things, the better that child is going to do. So coming back to your original question, when can we teach the child? As soon as he can learn to talk and listen to instructions.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about it in that sense because, like you said, like the Hollywood movies, you see meditation as these, like different things. And I think that you've just really encompassed this whole conversation about how we need to just take the time to relax, take a breath, take in the energy and things like that. And so I think it's very interesting because I always tagged meditation myself just because I was never really introduced to certain things in the way of knowledge when I grew up on that side. But being able to have children and infuse that into that, I don't have kids currently, but when I do, I think it's important to teach them in that sense. So
It also helps with like longevity as well. Like when you're meditating, and my Whoop watch tracker always tells me that I'm 8 years older than I currently am. So
Mine
I
too.
need to get into, I don't know, more actively meditating.
No, but that is
And breath
absolutely
work.
true.
it's true.
That is absolutely true. Our health is depending upon our mental health.
Mhm.
We know this. We study this again and again. There are types of diseases that are aggravated if we are suffering from anxiety because it's sooner or later that mental health aspect is going to have physiological repercussions. And when we have untreated, undiagnosed predicaments that we are dealing from, eventually that is what becomes burnout. Because yes, okay, we can't sleep. So for a few years, we can rely on coffee and wine to wake up and then sleep. But eventually the cost is going to come. Our body is very nice, very forgiving. Our brain, our liver, our kidneys, our lungs, our heart. But then it does have an impact on our cellular health. Whereas if we are every day having a meditation practice, we are allowing our self-healing processes to go on a higher gear. So when I teach meditation, I always say to people, it's like in places like California, if you have a pool, it's much better that if you have a kid who knows how to swim. In the same manner, if this is the world, you have to know how to meditate and be in touch and in tune. It is not a topic up for debate. It is a survival skill. It is a mechanism everybody must know. And that's what I teach people. And then when people learn to meditate and they see all these nice benefits on their quality of life, on their relations. If I'm an anxious person, stressed person, I'm a mean person. I don't forgive, I don't forget, I like to fight, I hate. But if I'm happier, and then my wife comes to me and says something which I know is wrong, I forgive. Because I can.
Yes.
Because I'm in that state of being, and people say and they thank that we never knew we could live our life like this. It's as if a switch has flipped. And then, you know what they say? The regret. If only I knew this sooner. But then I say to them, the universe wanted you to succeed now. Believe in destiny and enjoy what you have. The universe wanted you to have these superpowers because maybe you are at this place where you can help so many other people. So you could say that. I give superpowers to people.
I love that. I love that. I think that's a good point to end on today for this episode. And I appreciate you joining us. We're going to have you on part 2 so we can continue this conversation. Could you share with our audience a little bit more about how they can connect with you, pick up your book as well? I know you have your website and social media, which is incredible as well. So
you can pick up the book with your hands.
Yes.
And pay with your wallets. The book is called Practice of Immortality, and it is available wherever books are available. I think that is a good first step for all of you. And trust me, you deserve it. You deserve to learn what is written in this book. And I hope you can find the strength to get that book in your life, read it, and embrace the wisdom. And I think that will really help you. Everything else can come later. But first, learn from the book, The Practice of Immortality.
I love that. I love your humor, by the way. It's always good to have humorous guests and just people with real personalities that shine through. So I appreciate you for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And those of you that are watching, again, grab that book anywhere that you can. Purchase books. We'll obviously have it in the show notes and the descriptions. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube to Broadcast Your Authority, and we'll see you in the next episode.